Do you truly know yourself? Or are you trying to be someone that fits in with other people's expectations of you? And do you know that knowing yourself is a big key to truly knowing God? Hi, my name is Martin Trench. I'm a spiritual and biblical teacher, a speaker, author, and coach. You can join me on my school community. If you want more information, just go to martintrench.com. And all the information is there about school, my books, and other things. Knowing yourself is so important, being self-aware, knowing who you are truly and authentically. And yet, it's something that so many people avoid. So many people don't trust themselves. They don't trust their own intuition, their own conscience, the things which make them feel at home and the things which make them feel uncomfortable. They don't pay any attention to the signals that their own body, their mind, their subconscious, their heart is trying to communicate to them. In fact, in many ways, in modern Western Christianity, we've actually developed a theology that does the opposite. On the one hand, we are encouraged not to know it, not to trust ourselves. Don't listen to your heart. Don't listen to your heart. But doesn't the Spirit of God dwell within you? Hasn't God given us a new heart? Hasn't He written His instructions on our hearts? Doesn't God lead us from our hearts? And yet so many people quote that verse from Jeremiah that says, the heart of man is deceitful and desperately wicked. Who can know it? Well, a couple of things. First of all, Hebrew scholars tell us that that is actually a very bad translation of that verse, that it should say something more like this. The heart of man is rugged and yet wounded. Who can know it? It's about how our hearts are tough, but even then they get broken. And because they get broken, we're very often unaware. We don't know it. We don't really know what is going on deep down inside of us. Most of us are driven by subconscious impulses that we're unaware of. And they're controlling our life, and we are wondering why God is doing certain things in our life or not doing other things, why the devil is able to attack us in this area and in that area. And very often it has got nothing to do with God or the devil. It's to do with the fact that we are totally oblivious to who we are deep inside and what issues we have, unresolved issues that need healed, and what intuition and conscience and driving forces within us that is leading our lives in a particular direction. You know, we have two minds, a conscious mind and a subconscious mind. And if both of them are programmed in different ways, if your subconscious mind is telling you that a particular group of people, a particular doctrine or teaching or something like that is toxic and is wanting you to withdraw from it, but your conscious mind has been so indoctrinated that you're trying to make yourself fit in, you're trying to be a square peg in a round hole, and you're trying to force yourself to be like everybody else, that makes you a double-minded person. And the book of James tells us a double-minded person is unstable in all their ways. We need to be single-minded. And to be single-minded, we need to know what is going on deep within our hearts. We need to know ourselves. In fact, the psychologist Carl Jung said, until we become conscious of what is happening in our subconscious, it will control our lives, and we will put it all down to fate or to God or to the devil or to some outside force, but it's not, it's within us. You need to know yourself. You need to know what your conscience is comfortable with. Paul tells us that in Romans 14, that to one person it's perfectly fine and in keeping with their conscience to drink wine, but to another person they totally abstain from alcohol. But you have to know what your conscience is telling you. And of course, your intuition as well, that still small voice within. The instructions, the guidance, the way we should go is written on our hearts. And also in the book of James, it says that when we look into the scriptures, it's like looking into a mirror. We see a reflection of ourselves. I want to really encourage you to get to know yourself. As you know yourself, you get to know God more. Because all of a sudden, all of the effort, all of the striving to try to get to know God falls away when you realize who you are, how God wired you, how He knit you together and made you incredibly complex. Then, once you know who you are, you know who God made you to be. In Romans 12, it tells us that if we will dedicate our bodies to God, if we will renew our minds and change the way we think, and if we will discover our spiritual gifts that God has given us, He said, then you will know the will of God for you. And you'll discover that it's good and pleasurable, and it's the perfect life for you. Get to know yourself, your likes, your dislikes, your personality type, where you currently are in your journey through life, where you currently are in your journey of faith. The more you know yourself, the more you will realize that God has created you in a unique way. And when you live authentically, you feel God's pleasure and you know His presence.